You're live.
Welcome back, friends and neighbors. I'm Dr. Ken Berry, a family physician, and this is my lovely wife and partner in life, Neisha Salas-Berry, RN, CBC. Does not stand for complete blood count.
Right. Okay. Welcome back.
Yes, I'm happy to be here.
Me too.
I'm just excited.
I'm just so, what is this? I'm just so proud to be here.
Proud to be here.
Yeah.
Hey, Natalie Stone.
Happy fall. Is it crispy in your area or is it still hot as blazes? It's been very nice today.
A crispy morning this morning. We took Bonnie out on the front porch and she got to breathe the morning air. It was nice and crisp and cool. And I put her feet on the floor. She grounded a little bit and then she drank some titty milk. It's a great morning for her. Hey, Roxana, how's it going? Everybody remember now, if you've got somebody who always wants to catch this live, now's the time to text them, DM them. Hey, Natalie Stone, send them an email. You can write them a letter, but I don't think it'll get there in time with today's United Postal Service. So whatever you need to do.
Share on Facebook, share on Instagram. Now everybody can share links on Instagram. Did you know that, guys? So you can share that link.
Oh, you can. Everybody can.
Everybody can.
So you can share this on Instagram. Huh.
Right?
I did not know that.
Listen, he's had these glasses for I don't know how long, and he put them on the other day, and I was like, those are hot. You should keep those.
So I bought 2 more pair.
That's right.
Because I break a pair every 2 weeks. So
Beckett breaks a pair, or Lily takes them, and we don't know what's happened to them. So
yeah, the average pair of glasses lasts 2 weeks in this house. So I got some more. Since you liked them, I was like, really?
They're nice, right?
Amazon.com.
And like how many lives have you done since then?
I just want
to. Well, you did a video where you wore them, I think. I don't know. So other people were also saying that they were very nice.
Jujube lifted the heaviest personal record, a PR in the gym today. And then had a ribeye afterwards. Well done. A little chilly up in upstate New York, I hear. Hey, Lance, how's it going? All right, guys, let's get started with some questions and answers. If you got a question, try to be as succinct and pithy as you can without being laconic. And we will try to answer as many questions
using those 50 cents words today.
Yes. Showing off my education.
All right, pick a question.
All right, let's go. Let's see.
Get this one.
It's crispy as bacon in Wisconsin. Delija says, is goat's milk better than cow's milk for toddlers? If so, why? So on average, yeah, for most kids, all goat's milk and sheep's milk and camel's milk and reindeer milk is A2 milk. That's the kind of casein that it has in it. Most cow milk, at least in the United States, is A1, which many children and many humans seem to find more inflammatory. And so we tried Beckett with just cow's milk, full fat, and he was spit up. He didn't like it. It was not a good thing. But we switched him to full fat goat's milk, and he's done fine. He probably drinks a quart a day, probably.
At least.
Yeah, he probably drinks a quart a day in addition to all of the keto and carnivore food that he eats. And I think that's part of the reason he's so blasted smart.
Mm-hmm. All right. So Mom on the Move says, I'd love to see how you raise your chickens over on your OB Farms channel.
Okay. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, we have a farm channel. We're amateur farmers and ranchers. We are not professionals. Yes. We are learning as we go. But yeah, definitely, Neisha will have to get out there with Beckett and show how we're currently doing the chickens, which is, I'm not proud of it, but it's the best we can do right now.
We're working on it.
About to upgrade the chicken situation.
Yeah. Thank you, John, for the super chat. Trucking with diabetes. Thanks for all the education you provide. Also, you may have to explain some of those big words. I went to public school.
So did I. But my first semester in college, one of my good friends was taking an honors English class that I was not invited to attend because I was a C student in high school. And one of the books that they used during that honors English, this is for the smart kids, was 30 Days to a Better Vocabulary. And I felt really left out. And so every time I got a chance, I would grab his book and I would learn some of his words. And so that's where I've learned those words.
You also read every single day.
Well, that too, yeah.
And then half for your whole life.
Anytime I see a word I'm reading a blog post or an article, I double click on it, right click and hit Google search, and it pops up the definition. I learn the definition, then I move on. And I think if we should all probably be doing that, trucker with diabetes, right?
Patricia says, I found some honey nut keto cereal today. Would that be okay on low carb, low sugar diet or eating healthy regimen? Well, that depends.
Yeah, it's probably low carb, but is it keto? I seriously doubt it.
It depends on what are your goals. Are your goals health optimization, weight loss, to heal something? If you are someone who's trying to heal your diabetes, type 2 diabetes, autoimmune disease, those type of things, any kind of product, with the rare exception of some things, are not the best option.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So if you've just started, if you just switched yesterday from Honey Nut Cheerios, then the Honey Nut Ketos probably, that's a good improvement. And you can use that for a few months until your progress stalls. And then you'll realize, oh, I need to be eating actual real food, not highly processed, factory produced stuff.
Try your best to eat whole foods, one ingredient, low carb.
Yep.
Stephanie says, hello, thank you so much for the bipolar research you posted earlier. I will use this in my practice and will share with my colleagues.
Excellent. Excellent. So for those of you who don't know, I posted a video today about all the evidence showing that a ketogenic diet is very useful and helpful for bipolar disorder, both type 1, type 2, manic depression, all that stuff. It literally, for some people, helps their symptoms so much they can decrease or stop their medication. And so if you have someone you love who has bipolar disorder, you might share that video with them.
Hey, Roxana.
Hey,
thank
Roxana.
you so much. Brett, I'm really enjoying a 48-hour fast, one a week while on carnivore. What meal would you recommend breaking that fast when it ends?
If it's just a 48-hour fast, you can break it with pretty much anything. But most of the time, if I fast 48 hours or longer, I'll break it with 1 or 2 scrambled eggs scrambled in butter. That way it kind of gives your tummy a chance to wake up, get all your juices flowing, and then you can smash a ribeye or something later on.
Max Zool says, what do you eat every day? Well,
if
you want to come over to my channel,
oh yes,
Neisha, as linked in the description, I show pretty much what we eat in a day. If you don't see what Dr. Berry eats, but you see what I eat, and it's a steak, that's what he ate.
That's right.
And that's pretty much every day. We eat a lot of ribeye, steaks, eggs, bacon.
Today, I broke my fast about 2 p.m. ish with 2 pounds of ground beef, 4 egg yolks,
and some taco meat that I made for
with
myself.
Taco seasoning in it. Yeah.
Bless you.
Pardon.
That's my armrest. Zero says, do I need to supplement on a carnivore diet with Crohn's disease, IBD? Still having some digestive issues after a couple of months, but everything else is fine.
Yeah, probably not. Zero. Make sure you're getting enough vitamin D and iodine, either from the foods rich in them. Hint, I've got videos on both topics on this channel. Or you can supplement with an iodine drop like Lugol's 2% and some vitamin D3, vitamin K2. There's a combo you can get on Amazon.
Michael's mommy, type 2 diabetic, off diabetic meds for 4 weeks. Blood sugar is so high on carnivore, 190s and 180s. I'm on Effexor for menopausal sweating. Could the Effexor be causing high blood sugar and sweet taste in my mouth? Should I be worried?
Maybe. So if your blood sugars are averaging 180s to 190s, why are you off your type 2 diabetes meds? Yeah, you need to probably keep taking at least metformin, glucophage, until you've got a hemoglobin A1C of 5.6. So if glucophage or metformin was one of those meds, get back on it because it's not time for you to come off meds yet. But if it wasn't, then talk to your doctor about getting that because it's the least offensive of all the type 2 medication.
Odette, would a carnivore or triple B and E diet be beneficial for someone with medullary sponge kidneys to minimize the stones?
Absolutely. So you definitely want to avoid all oxalate, high oxalate foods. I've got a video about that. Meat does not cause kidney stones. And also protein from meat, which is an ancestrally appropriate protein source, is good for your kidneys. It's not bad for your kidneys. Whether you choose beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, that's what BBB and E stands for, or carnivore, either way, you win and I win. So let us know how it goes, Odette.
Matt, is black coffee allowed during the 90-day triple B and E challenge? I'm starting it, hopefully to put my UC and psoriasis in remission. Yes,
absolutely. Black coffee, unsweetened tea, sparkling water, or reverse osmosis, preferably still water. Depending on where you live in the country or the world, you may not be able to trust the tap water. Some places have great well water, some don't. So make sure you know just how good your water is, or use a reverse osmosis unit.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you, Kelly.
Melinda says, there is a keto for women only to work with our hormones. Have you heard of this?
Yeah, we've heard of it multiple times, but it's completely unnecessary. There's nothing special about a woman with regards to eating a human diet, a proper human diet, than it is for a man. Okay, we are the same species, just different sexes.
There's some minute things that could help with specific things, like postmenopausal women may need more fat and to move more. And but the general, picture is still the same.
Yep.
Craig.
Don't put him in timeout.
I didn't mean to. I saw the livecast with Bart K.
Yep.
He said there's no such thing as insulin resistance. Can you please explain this?
Yeah, so insulin resistance is a concept. And it's useful to discuss it as a concept, but there's no one test that tests for insulin resistance. Every IR score, insulin resistance score, is a calculated number using other tests that were actually checked in the blood. So rather than talk about insulin resistance, let's talk about hyperglycemia, high blood sugar, and hyperinsulinemia, which is high serum insulin. Those are things you can actually measure, and you can look at and know immediately, am I still eating too many carbohydrates for me, or am I eating the right amount of carbohydrates? For some of you guys, that'll be under 100 total grams of carbs a day. For some of you, under 50. For some, under 20. For some, under 10. For some, as close to 0 carbs a day as you can get it. It kind of depends on your age, your current mental status and medical status, whether you're on any medications, your hormone status, many other things can factor into that equation. But there's technically no such thing as insulin resistance that we can measure. Does that make sense?
ASL in motion.
Thank you, ASL.
Thank you. Let's see here. That's pretty good. Right?
It's just a construct. That's exactly right. Yeah. It's not really a mechanism or a lab test that you can check.
This is harder to read.
Oh, for everybody watching, I'm going to be in Louisville, Kentucky this weekend at Ketopalooza. So there's still a few tickets left. If you're anywhere in the Louisville, Kentucky area, I don't know how far you'd be willing to drive to see me. So that's up to you. But there's still a few tickets if you want to come to Ketopalooza this weekend in Louisville.
It's a good one.
Louisville.
Tim says, would sardines and eggs be enough iodine in my carnivore diet?
Probably. If you ate a can of sardines every day, that'd probably give you enough iodine.
Thank you, Constance.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you, Mother Nature.
Did you wish everybody?
Yes, I already did that.
You did that? Okay.
He said, did you tell everybody happy fall?
Happy fall, y'all. Did you say it like that?
If you follow me, you're probably sick of me talking about it, honestly. Jawan says, what are your thoughts on kefir or fermented dairy along with meat for diverticulitis and colitis?
So kefir, any fermented dairy is definitely less bad than unfermented dairy. But for many people, especially if you have diverticulitis, ulcerative colitis, Crohn's disease, irritable bowel, you need to avoid just about all the dairy except for butter and ghee. Eat all the fatty red meat, eat the eggs, or maybe just the egg yolk. Few people notice a little inflammation with the whites of chicken eggs. So try duck eggs or quail eggs or some other egg of some other poultry, or just eat the yolks. But the fatty red meat is the key, Dewan.
Hey, Holly Crazy.
Hey.
Freedom Loving American. Do you have creative ways to integrate nutritional yeast into a keto diet?
Yeah, the way you integrate it is you put it in the garbage. You have literally no need to waste money on nutritional yeast. We use yeast to make beer and wine and other things, and you're going to get all the nutrition, all the B vitamins you need from eating meat.
Thank you, John. Hey, big shout out to our moderators in the chat. Thank you so much for being here. If you see a name with a blue wrench beside of it answering questions, so those are our moderators.
They know what they're talking about.
Yeah. Hey, Matt. Matt says, I've heard so many wonderful benefits to the carnivore diet. Are you aware of any negative health effects on this diet?
Yeah, I actually did a YouTube video about how restrictive the carnivore diet is. You could have to buy all new clothes because your old ones don't fit anymore. You look pretty fit from your thumbnail. A lot of people have to buy new shirts because their shoulders and chest get broader than they expected and they no longer fit into their shirts. A lot of people have to buy new belts because they took up all the holes, and either they have to punch a new hole or buy a new belt. Some people have to get their ring resized because they lose so much unhealthy stored fluid in their hands and feet that their ring now is too loose and in danger of flopping off. Some people have to buy new shoes because when they pee off the 5 to 25 pounds of unhealthy fluid that they've been storing in their body, their feet are smaller, up to a half size. So, but seriously though, there's honestly no drawback from eating carnivore, except some people get bored if they want some veg. Human beings have been eating a predominantly animal meat diet for over 2.5 million years. So there really, by definition, can't be any drawbacks. It'd be similar if you said, what are the drawbacks of breathing air or the drawbacks of drinking water? We've been eating meat as a species for the exact same length of time as we've been breathing air and drinking water.
Hi, Marnie. Neisha, you look
Marnie.
fabulous.
Right? Look at this woman.
I watched your PhD Summit presentation about 6 times now. The whole event was awesome. Thank you for putting it together. We know Dr. Berry only showed up.
Yeah.
LOL, love you both.
I was just along for the ride.
Thank you so much. Yeah, if you haven't watched our presentations on the PhD Summit, it's on the Keto Chow YouTube channel. It's free. You can watch my talk, Dr. Berry's talk, Kim Howerton, Nurse Cindy.
Yep.
2 crazy ketos are over there. Watch on them ketos over there.
Oh, yeah.
We had a really amazing summit. And I mean, I said before, we are never doing this again. And then we did it. And I was like, okay, we'll do it again.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
We
a lot
had a
of
great
work.
turnout.
A lot of work, but a lot of fun. A lot of work for Neisha.
And I was pregnant during that.
Yes, she was.
It was a lot. All right. Doxy.
Doxy D.
A1C of 7.2. My doctor wants to put me on Ozempic. My insurance doesn't cover it. Is it worth paying out of pocket, or should I ask him for metformin?
Yep. Metformin is cheap. It's going to work just as good as Ozempic. If you adopt a proper human diet, which is by definition very low carb, very nutrient dense, very uninflammatory, and very ancestrally appropriate, your blood sugar numbers are going to start coming right back down. Okay. So after 3 months of good keto or carnivore and taking metformin, you're going to get that A1C rechecked, and you're going to find it's in the low 6s, which means you've reversed your type 2 diabetes. You're just pre-diabetic now. And then 3 months later, you'll have normal A1C, and you're welcome very much.
Lisa, PUFA question. PUFAs are bad, right? Is
Yeah.
olive oil and coconut oil not a good idea?
So coconut oil is pretty darn high in saturated fat. It's one of the only plant sources of good saturated fat. It does have a little bit of PUFA. Olive oil has a little more PUFA, but olive oil also has MUFA, mono unsaturated fatty acids. And so a lot of people think that the MUFAs are healthy enough to kind of outweigh the PUFAs, and that the saturated fat in olive oil is good enough to outweigh the PUFAs in coconut oil. But I love animal fats. I love beef tallow and bacon grease and butter. And they also have some PUFAs in them, but they also are great sources of monounsaturated when it comes to bacon grease, and then saturated in all the animal fats. So I'm an animal fat boy. I love it. I even put it on my lips at bedtime.
We have a video where we're making bacon. It's the bacon chips video. If you haven't watched that, that's on my channel. It's a great how to cook your bacon hack. And in the video, he puts raw bacon fat on his mouth, and you'd have thought he had scratched his butt.
You're
and
gonna die. You're gonna die.
Yeah, the comments are pretty entertaining. So go check that video out if you're bored.
I didn't die.
Carissa, I have had really bad hives for a week. It's impacting my everyday and sleep now. Nothing helps. It's so painful. Keto since January, mostly carnivore diet the last 3 weeks. What can I do to cure this?
Go see your doctor. This is probably completely unrelated to your diet. It's human beings are pattern recognition machines. We look for patterns. And so you started this diet. A few weeks later, this happened. You're like, the diet caused it. No, eating a proper human diet is not going to cause you to have medical problems. If any of you guys have a new medical symptom or sign or problem, go see your doctor. The diet didn't cause that.
Sunshine, can we have lemon in water? Also, if I stay on triple B and E, can I skip going on bone density medication 48 hours? 48
years
and
old.
have osteoporosis.
Gotcha. So lemon water?
I think lemon water is fine
A
as
few
long
drops,
as you're not like putting 3 lemons in there and making lemonade. You know?
Lemon juice has sugar. It has carbs. Even though it tastes sour, it actually has quite a bit of sugar. So sometimes I'll put 3 or 4 drops of lemon juice in water just to give it that lemony taste. Yeah, she loves it. Now, your bone density, it depends on how bad your bone density currently is. You might benefit from a year of Boniva or Fosamax or one of the others. But have a conversation with your doctor. Watch my videos on this channel about osteoporosis and bone strength. There's research in the show notes. You might want to print that out and take with to your doctor and say, hey, let's talk about this.
Cyber Nurse, I have high lipo-A and other blood lipids plus family history of heart disease. What's the effect of saturated fats on my health?
Saturated fat is good for you. It's currently a very popular fad in medicine and nutrition to say, ooh, saturated fat's bad for you. Oh, you have a family history, saturated fat's bad for you. Oh, you don't have a family history, saturated fat's bad for you. This is a meme. This is a construct. This is meaningless, okay? We've been eating saturated fat, lots of saturated fat for millions of years. Saturated fat is what basically gives us this huge, intelligent, sexy brain that we all possess. The myelin sheath that wraps around each axon of each neuron in your brain is made of a 24-carbon saturated fat. Your brain needs saturated fat to repair and keep your neuron function optimal.
Phase 2 man. Greetings, Dr. Berry and Nurse Berry. Will PhD eliminate visceral fat over time?
Yeah. I've got videos on this channel about belly fat, about fatty liver, about fatty pancreas. A proper human diet, if it's low carb enough for you, will fix all the visceral fat.
We have 2,600 people watching. Make sure you hit the thumb while you're watching and also share this with a friend or on Facebook. You can share it anywhere. We love it.
That's how we reach new people who need help.
That's right. And it's how YouTube knows that, we're doing something cool over here. We're not just picking our noses, like
that'd be kind of cool.
Like people on TikTok.
Let's do it. You ready? 1, 2. You guys will love this. Every now and then I'll say, hey, Beckett, I got you a surprise. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, hang on. I got it right here.
Don't do that.
And he's like, Daddy, no.
See, I just said we're not doing that. And then you just went and done it.
I'm a 12-year-old.
All right. Kay says, hi, what's your look at high-fat carnivore? 80% or more of energy from fat and 20% from protein.
For some people, this is the way. For other people, it's a little too high fat and not high enough in protein. But even with the 80-20 plan, which I'm a big fan of, I want you to make sure you're getting adequate protein, especially if you're a woman.
Right. But we're much more pro this than cutting the fat way, way down.
Yes.
Fat is very important.
Yes.
So go for it. See how you do. See how you feel.
Yeah, keep us updated.
Go watch my presentation on the Keto channel before you make a change. Document everything. Follow my steps and go for it.
Yes, I love it.
Hey, Jerry. Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you, Jerry.
Sally says, excellent presentations at the summit. I thought
hers was so good.
Everybody's was great. Paul says, how important is variety in your diet? Can I eat the same things for weeks at a time?
Yes, you can.
I'm trying carnivore and loving it. We literally
variety in your diet it's a meme. It's just something that the food companies would love for you to believe is necessary and mandatory. And if you don't eat a variety in your diet, then you kind of suck a little bit. This is not true. You could literally live the rest of your life eating ground beef and sardines every day, every meal for the rest of your life. You would, when you were 90, you would look 65 or 70. You would feel great. You'd be out in the backyard kicking the soccer ball with your great grandchildren and be running circles around them. Variety is meaningless when it comes to diets. A lot of us, when we first start this way of eating, we're used to a lot of variety and we think that's a luxury. We think that's a necessity, but it's not. It's not.
Summit was awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes, Natalie. There will be a 2023 summit.
Ketovore Chronicle says, I went from 3XL to XL. Kind of sick of buying new clothes, but
this is how restrictive Ketovore can be. You have to buy all new clothes sometimes. Yeah.
Audra, need help with sleep, menopause, help. I've been 1 year carnivore and I've lost 75 pounds.
Ooh,
congratulations.
Yeah. Huzzah on Audra. So I've got videos on this channel about sleep hygiene, all the tricks and tips that actually are backed up by some research to help you get the best sleep that you can. Even if you're following all those tips, sometimes during menopause, you've got to find a doctor who is knowledgeable about bioidentical hormones and get your progesterone fixed and maybe your testosterone too. Then you'll sleep like you once did.
Thank you, LaShawn. She's the only one that keeps reminding. She's like, make the recipe. I swear. I don't know what my problem is, honestly.
What is your problem?
I don't know. Dan, you've taught us the truth about normal cholesterol numbers on a PhD. What other numbers should we disregard or recalibrate? As a stroke survivor, I'm particularly interested in blood pressure numbers. Yeah,
so as you may know, Dan, the American Heart Association currently says that you need very, very low blood pressure numbers to be normal, essentially ensuring that every American adult would be on at least one, if not two, blood pressure medications. And there is a theory out there that they did this because they get millions of dollars a year from the blood pressure pill manufacturers. Now, I don't go that far, but it seems odd to me that other regulatory bodies like the American Academy of Family Practice decided not to adopt the latest AHA guidelines for that super low blood pressure. For most adults, if you're under 145 on top and under 85 on the bottom, that's perfect. That's exactly where you need to be.
John says, I'm ready for the store and bought plenty of canned meat, tuna, spam, ham, etc. Yeah, hope all y'all are getting ready because it looks like it's going to hit you guys. This is a great question. Miss Kimberly, is there any risk if a person eats more than one type of meat on carnivore?
No, you can have a variety of meats. There's your variety to our previous question.
Hellacious J. Been on carnivore diet 2 months, but my triglycerides keep raising. Is this normal?
No, this is not normal at all, Hellacious. Either my definition of carnivore and your definition is different. Do you think that fruit is part of a carnivore diet? Do you think honey is part? Because honey and fruit will absolutely raise your triglycerides. And so if you've been following that brand of carnivore, which is really paleo, then stop that. Carnivore means you eat only meat and eggs, animal products only, not fruit and honey. And then I think you'll find also fast for 12 to 14 hours before you get your blood drawn. A lot of doctors tell you don't have to do that. That's bullshit. You need to fast for 12 to 14 hours before any blood draw. That's going to give you the most accurate numbers.
Colin, low testosterone and hypothyroidism. Should I be eating more organ meat?
If you enjoy organ meat, Colin, then definitely eat it once or twice a week, maybe 3 times a week. I don't think you can eat too much as long as you let your taste buds be your guide.
Carmen, I'm confused about electrolytes, salt, iodine. Does Redmond salt have iodine, or do I have to add iodine to my diet? Are electrolytes needed all through the day?
Yeah. So after this, Carmen, I want you to do an internet search for why is there iodine in salt? Because no salt on the planet, none, has iodine in it naturally. The federal government started putting iodine in the salt back around World War I because all the young boys that they were trying to draft had goiters. And so they got a 4F and they couldn't be drafted. So they said, we got to fix this. We don't have enough boys to fight the war. So they started putting iodine in salt unnaturally in a chemical process. Real iodine comes from food that you eat. And I've got a video on this channel about iodine-rich foods. And I would much prefer you get it from food than from a supplement. But no salt naturally comes with iodine. And then, yes, everybody needs electrolytes. In the past, our ancestors 50,000 years ago got electrolytes from drinking river water, stream water, mud puddle water. And then when they killed an animal, they could not hoist it up because we didn't have winches back then. So they didn't drain the meat. So the meat had blood in it still. Blood is an excellent source of electrolytes. So unless you want to drink mud puddle water and eat bloody meat, if you don't want to do that, then just take an electrolyte supplement like Elements or Redmond's Relay.
Thank you, Irene. All right. Denine's A1C today was 4.9.
Huzzah!
I love
That's what I'm talking about.
Carol's went from 6.5 to 5.4, and she's lost 90 pounds.
Huzzah!
I love it.
Everybody else, put your
Sherry.
A1Cs. What was your before and after A1C? I want to see it in the comments.
I love it. Thanks, Ian Taylor. All right, let's see. Margie says, I've been on carnivore for 3 months and I've only lost 9 pounds. I'm getting discouraged.
First of all, Margie, congratulations for losing 9 pounds and keeping it off. Okay. Now I've got a video on this channel called the 13 Reasons Why Your Weight Loss Might Stall. After this live, go watch that video, the 13 Reasons Why Weight Loss Might Stall, and investigate all 13 reasons, either with yourself or yourself and your doctor. You'll discover the cause, and then you'll unstick this and you'll start losing fat again.
Ha ha, Natalie.
Natalie knows. She knows what's up.
I can tell who the OG watchers are because they throw down little comments like that. And been on strict keto for a month and not having that initial weight loss I'd hoped for. Just made it up to a 16-hour fasting window. Will this help?
100%. It will help. Some people actually have to go up to an 18-hour fasting window and a 6-hour feasting window to get the weight loss to really kick off. Also, keep your carbohydrate intake as low as you possibly can. And if there are days when you wind up eating 0 carbs, that's okay. The fewer carbs you eat, the lower your insulin will be. The more hours you fast each day, the lower your insulin will be. And once you get your insulin to a low enough normal level, the fat burning will begin, I promise. Be patient and give it time.
Sheena, hey girl, does apple cider vinegar have any fat loss benefits? I feel like you know the answer to this question, Sheena.
I'm about to make 3 people mad. So
probably more than that.
If you're eating a standard American crap diet, then taking apple cider vinegar therapeutically might lower your blood sugar a little, might help curb your appetite a little, might help burn a little fat. Okay. But if you're eating a proper human diet, keto, ketovore, carnivore, you can use apple cider vinegar for taste. If you like the taste of it, like this one does, you can add it to stuff. What did you add it to the other day?
Broccoli salad.
Broccoli salad. Yeah. She loves the taste of it. I could live without it. But there's no magical benefits to apple cider vinegar.
I just confused everybody in here because they were like, broccoli's not carnivore. I'm not carnivore.
She's ketovore.
Sometimes I have a little vegetables in my diet. Reed, do you need a colonoscopy just because you're over 50?
Great question. So, no, you don't. All you guys 50 and over, listen up. The gastroenterologist is going to push you towards a colonoscopy because they make more money by doing procedures. Okay. There is another way where you don't have to have anything enter the exit. You understand? It's called a take-home poop kit. You get it at your primary care doctors, or the gastroenterologist has got them as well. I promise you. The GI doc might say, oh, they're not as good. That's horseshit. There's multiple studies that show, but you don't want to put horseshit on it. You want to actually have your own poop. But there are multiple studies that show that if you do the poop test once a year, that is just as reliable a predictor of colon cancer as having a colonoscopy every 10 years. Now, if you've had a previous problem with your colon, if you've had previous colon cancer, if you've had lots of polyps in the past, if you've had diverticulitis in the past, if you've had colon problems, you may need a colonoscopy at 50 or 55, somewhere in there. But if you're like, dude, I have 0 colon symptoms, then do the little take home, put some poop on the card and mail it in, test. That's all you need.
Poop in the mail.
Poop in the mail.
That's disgusting.
Every mailman's dream.
Right. Shout out to Miss Elaine Jones. A1C went from 11.2 down to 6.0. Well on her way.
Nice.
Good job.
Well done. Well done. Keep it up. You're almost there.
We've got several wonderful A1Cs. They're just going by so fast.
It.
Congratulations, Pocahontas. 50 pounds on
50
keto.
Pounds. Look at her. Pocahontas. Love it. I want everybody to tell me, what diet are you currently eating right now? Lion diet, carnivore, ketovore, keto, low carb, or are you just eating crap? Tell me in the comments.
Be honest.
Be honest. We're going to love you.
Anyway.
We're going to love you either way, but I just want to see what the ratios are among the people watching this.
Lion diet, ketovore, keto, triple B&E, carnivore, ketovore, triple B&E, ketovore. Wow, that went really fast.
There's a lot of beef, butter, bacon, and eggs.
I love it. Well done, you guys.
I was going to say thank you, but it went by too fast.
Wow, that's a lot. All right.
I love it.
We're at 3,000 viewers right now. Good job, guys. You did it. You got us to 3,000. Thank you very much for hitting that thumb and sharing this on your Facebook page or Instagram or wherever you shared it. Leach family says, do I have to eat vegetables?
No, you do not, Leach family. Congratulations. If you like veg, you can eat some. Try to eat the low-carb veg. I've got a YouTube video telling you which ones are low-carb. But if you don't want to ever eat a veg again, you don't have to.
Have you guys watched the I Was Wrong About Vegetables video?
Yeah. When I first started doing this 4.5 years ago,
It's been longer than that.
5 years ago,
Yeah.
I firmly believed in the magic of vegetables. You had to have those phytonutrients. You had to have the magic undiscovered nutrients in plants. After 4.5, 5 years of research, I am certain I was wrong about that. You don't need to ever eat another plant unless you like them, and then that's fine. We'll still love you if you eat plants. Yeah.
Elon fanboy, welcome back. What are the names of the probably wrong premier studies that have told folks that meat will kill us, through either cancer or heart attack?
Yeah. So if you actually go to the World Health Organization's website and look up potential carcinogens, you'll find that they say that processed meat is a class 1 carcinogen, that red meat is a class 2 carcinogen, and you can keep clicking and you can find the research that they base that decision on. And what you'll find is all of that research is observational research and using food frequency questionnaires that ask questions like, "Madam, how many cups of ribs have you eaten in the last month?"
Oh, yes. Let me measure my ribs in cups.
I don't remember what I ate yesterday, but you're going to ask me. And
well,
so
you do now because we eat the same thing every
they'll
day.
typically ask people what they eat. Not, you would think they would do it every day, right? Because then you would think, well, yeah, you remember that. No, they ask once a year, once every 4 years, and some studies once every 5 years. And so then they act like that's real data or data, whichever. Don't judge me. That's not data. That's a guesstimation at best. But then they use that data to come up with this, meat causes cancer. So it's all on the World Health Organization site. They're very proud of the studies. But if you actually look at them, you'll be like, they really shouldn't be crowing about that because that's kind of dumb.
Darren, been doing keto carnivore for a while and I love it, but just started competitive hockey league and I feel like performance is down. Should I add in some carbs?
Yeah. So Darren, I would do an experiment. So for the next month, I would add back in some keto friendly carbs.
Or why don't you increase your fat first?
Right. And that's another experiment you could do is bump your fat way up and see if that, because fat is also burned for fuel in addition to being used to make hundreds of different things in your body. So try a month with bumping the fat up, then try a month bumping the carbs up. And I think you'll have your answer.
Whoop. I hate when it does that. Corrine, did we answer this? Or I have a question regarding feeding baby after 12 months. Is grass-fed cow milk okay?
It probably, but your baby's gastrointestinal system will give you immediate feedback, Kieran. And so if your baby starts spitting up, starts having grumbly, starts having diarrhea, Beckett would just spit up if we gave him cow's milk. He
had it one time and he was like, bleh.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll stick with goat milk.
We switched to goat's milk.
Well, no, he got goat milk first, and then I gave him the dairy,
just to see
cow dairy, just to see how he reacted to it.
No bueno. No bueno.
Bless beyond measure. All this protein won't raise blood sugar?
No, there's no protein on the planet, no amount of protein on the planet that you can eat that will ever raise your blood sugar as much as eating carbohydrates will. Keep that in mind.
Pancreatic diet.
Pancreatitis diet.
Sorry.
So you are still a human being, even though you have chronic pancreatitis or you had an acute bout of pancreatitis. The first thing I would do is get an abdominal ultrasound or a CAT scan. You probably already got that, but go back and pull the report and see if they reported that you have fatty pancreas or fatty liver. Because if you do, that means you've been eating too many carbohydrates and drinking or eating too much fructose, which is fruit sugar. And once you get those out of your diet, you'll get rid of the fatty pancreas and the fatty liver, and your pancreas will thank you.
Did you say there's cow milk that is A2 as well?
Some in other countries you can get A2 cow milk.
You can get A2 now.
You can here now, but it's still rare. The vast majority of cow's milk.
It's becoming more common now to be able to
but
get it.
99% of the grocery store cow milk is A1 milk.
Chris was 430 pounds last year, and now it's 329.
Huzzah, Chris. 101 pounds. Can anybody beat that? How many pounds have you lost on the proper human diet, guys? Tell me in the comments. I want to see this.
Delta. My wife is breastfeeding. I've been trying to get her to switch to carnivore keto. She's concerned about her milk supply declining. Any thoughts? I'm your girl. Okay, so I understand that she's concerned.
Let me repeat for those who joined us late. She is a certified breastfeeding consultant and a registered nurse, a labor and delivery nurse. Continue.
And I've also breastfed 2 babies while being
Also bad. I
keto
think that
carnivore.
counts.
That also counts,
Yeah.
I think, too. So I understand her being concerned because there's a lot on the internet. And while there's nothing dangerous about being keto, ketovore, or carnivore and breastfeeding, if you haven't been doing that throughout your pregnancy and you've been eating the standard American diet, it is much better to just slowly decrease carbs and ease back into a low carb, keto, whatever she's wanting to go towards over, several weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. There's no rush.
There's no rush.
As long as she's cleaning it up, eating real whole foods and lowering those carbs, I say like 20 total grams a week, 50 grams a month, anything, whatever she's comfortable doing, that's totally fine. And like I said, that's not because eating this way and breastfeeding is dangerous to supply. It's that when you make that shift, as most of you had the keto flu, that's a fluid shift. And any fluid shift can affect milk supply.
Yep.
So you don't want that to happen. So just ease into it as much as she's comfortable and tell her not to focus on weight loss or anything like that. Just eating real good, nutrient-dense foods that are lower carb and not to stress out about it. But
Absolutely.
good for her if she does that.
Yes,
And
yes.
if not, good for her for breastfeeding anyway.
And you're still going to love her and honor her even if she decides not to do
She's
that.
doing a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
The reader, 1 month carnivore, love it. Having food aversion and not eating, very weak and tired. Do you have any suggestions to help? I'm losing lots of weight.
Yeah. So the first thing she's going to say is you probably need to increase your fat percentage. You're probably not eating enough fat. Also, I would add, you're probably not eating enough total food. You're probably still subconsciously portion controlling or calorie counting. When you're eating carnivore, you do not portion control. You eat until you cannot eat one more bite. That is mandatory. For many people, they're still portion controlling, and you don't have to do that. You get to eat till you're full, and that's going to bump that energy back up. Also, eating a higher fat to protein ratio. For many people, that's like turning on the light switch for both brain function and your energy.
Kevin's concerned. Do you use any studies in your research or just individual experience? Every video he has pretty much has a research study linked in the show notes.
At least one, if not 10.
I showed this to my sister, your video on veggies, and she says, where are the sources? So do you note sources?
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
I didn't in that video.
Because it was a reflection video.
Because it was a reflection video. But any of my other videos where I state a thing, just like in my bipolar disorder video, I've got 7 or 8 research articles linked. Yeah. Good question.
Sorry. Selena, I was told you can't lose weight if you eat all you want on carnivore or keto. You would still have to watch how much you eat. Is this true? This depends on who you ask, but you're asking us, so you're going to get our answer.
Yeah. Some people still secretly believe in the calorie in, calorie out myth. They still secretly believe that your metabolism will not increase when you start feeding your body a proper human diet. Okay. Your metabolism will increase back up to its normal rate when you start eating until satiety on a proper human diet, whether that's keto, ketovore, or carnivore. And you can eat, especially carnivore, you can eat until you literally are gorged and cannot put one more bite in your mouth. Now, if you're eating a higher carb keto, like 50 or 100 total grams a day, then you might slow down your weight loss if you eat to complete satiation. But when you cut the carbs way down under 20 a day, yeah, you can eat till you're satiated.
Jenna, do you follow Stephanie Keto Person? Yeah, we followed her for a long time.
She's been on my channel for a couple of times. I've been on hers a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she now lives in Nashville.
Does she?
Yeah.
Why have we not went out to dinner with her? Stop that.
Yeah.
You need to email her right
now.
Okay,
Will do.
Roughwood, are there any benefits of microgreens on Ketovore diet?
Why do plant lovers love to eat infant plants? They want to eat baby spinach, baby carrots. Why?
They're cute.
And
also, it's marketed. Okay, the marketing on these things is great.
You never need. Now, if you enjoy microgreens, that's totally fine. Eat some microgreens.
There's nothing special.
But they're stupid expensive on a per ounce. How much they cost? It's ridiculous.
How many of you have watched videos on YouTube lately and you've seen the ads for seed supplements? Every single what I eat in a day vlog, I watch other people's stuff just to see what everybody's doing and seeing if I can replicate a recipe and make it clean, keto, ketovore, whatever, see what's trending. I have seen so many seed sponsorships. I am so sick of seeing that. But all of these are like microgreens and probiotics and all this stuff. It's just marketing. Hey, mommy does keto.
She eats the rainbow of animal foods. I love it.
Love it. Say something, I'm giving up on you.
Don't give up. Don't give up on me.
All right. Sally says, meat is so expensive these days, especially bacon. Do you have any suggestions? Yes, we understand. We're in the grocery store. We see it. It is getting really expensive.
If you will just go to YouTube, I talk about cheap keto. In that are many meat options. If you go to YouTube and search for cheap carnivore, there are many cuts of beef that and other animals that if you cook them properly are just as good as the pricey ribeye. For me, I eat 70-30 ground beef pretty much every day. That's about the cheapest ground beef you can get. So
I also have a video on my channel that is 10 ground beef recipes, and ground beef is one of the budget-friendly options. And if you're like, but I'm sick of ground beef, there's 10 recipes over there for what you can do with ground beef, so you can change it up. It's not just
1,000 different ways to spice it up.
Right. All right, let's see here.
Pheno Barbie doll.
I love it.
Handle of the night. Pheno Barbie doll. That's the best.
Winona's her
that is so wrong.
picture. I love
So
it.
wrong. So wrong.
Love that movie, by the way.
Carnivore for 68 days, no weight loss, no inches lost, feel no different, strictly beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, no dairy, never calorie restricted in my life, have no known issues, just fat, not losing weight, help. So watch my video about the 13 reasons why your weight loss might stall. You may have an undiagnosed thyroid condition, an undiagnosed adrenal condition, an undiagnosed sex hormone condition, and then there's many other things I talk about in that video that could be completely turning off your ability to lose weight. Do you say how long? 68 days. So that's long enough. You should have lost some fat by now. I agree. There's some medical issue that's currently undiagnosed in you, Pheno Barbie doll. And you gotta watch my video and then go see your doctor and get some labs checked. I wrote a book about those labs.
We got some awesome A1Cs in the chat. Pamela, why would a free T3 be low when a TSH and a free T4 are optimal?
This is why you need to check a reverse T3. Okay. I actually wrote a book about this because you could have trouble converting T4 to T3, have a normal T4, and most doctors only check a TSH and a T4 or a free T4, so everything looks normal. But you're making a lot of reverse T3 and not enough real usable free T3. Therefore, you've got low T3.
The Gringo and Dominican Kitchen. Love it. Howdy, Metabolic Avengers. I like you already. On Triple B and E 2 months now, cholesterol is up from June. Cholesterol is 273, HDL 68, LDL 191, triglycerides 44, down from 80. A1C wasn't checked this time. Should I be concerned about my labs?
So your HDL is beautiful. Your triglycerides are world class, like top 0.1% in the whole world. I don't care what your total cholesterol is. Any doctor that's worried about your total cholesterol is at least 15 years behind on the reading. And your LDL cholesterol is a little high. Watch my videos about LDL cholesterol and also watch videos by a PhD researcher whose name is Dr. David Diamond, just like a diamond in a ring. He will explain to you why you can comfortably and safely ignore an elevated LDL cholesterol if your A1C, your C-peptide, your fasting insulin, your HDL cholesterol, and your triglycerides, if they're all normal, it's really irrelevant what your total cholesterol and your LDL cholesterol are. Good question.
Steven says, Neisha, would you consider making a carnivore-friendly version of steak and kidney pudding of traditional British dish? Carnivore-friendly. I'll look into it.
Steak and kidney pudding.
I'll look into it. Now, obviously, I'm not British, so I'm going to have to look up exactly how it's traditionally done.
But we love to go to Britain, and we love to eat British food and drink British beer.
We've been to London 3
and I
times.
love to say advertisement, so that's kind of British.
And I like to say Amazon.
Amazon, yeah. So steak and kidney pudding.
One of my favorite British bloggers. That's how she says it.
Amazon.
So that's how I say it. People, you made 3 people mad.
Yep. I'm sorry. I love you guys, but I got to tell it like I see it.
Oh. Whoa. All right. Hang on here. Nadine, sorry.
Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. Hey, neighbor.
How
My grandfather used to work at the bicycle plant in Lawrenceburg.
How often is fatty fish like salmon appropriate on PhD, and why is it excluded from triple D&E?
Beef, butter, bacon, and eggs. We came up with that because it was catchy, easy to remember, relatively cheap. It's a challenge. You don't have to do that forever. If you'd like to include sardines and anchovies and salmon on your beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, then you can just call it the BBB&E SSA.
But if you're doing a challenge, the point is to challenge yourself by limiting, and like it works well that way.
You can eat salmon every day. You can eat sardines every day. You can eat anchovies every day. You can eat cod liver every day. The seafood can be every day. And I think some people, just because of their ancestral heritage, where their people live for the last 100,000 years, some people may do better on a seafood heavy, proper human diet, even better than on ruminant meat heavy, proper human diet. This is an experiment. All you guys can do. If you've got a lot of Mediterranean blood in your body, a lot of equatorial DNA, you might do better on a seafood heavy, proper human diet. Try it for 60, 90 days and find out.
The local Mason, you said you like to drink beer. Is beer carnivore friendly? He has never said that. He hates beer.
No, she likes to drink. When we're
Guinness.
in London, she likes to drink a Guinness, and I'll have one on the trip.
But
just
Guinness,
to say,
listen, beer isn't keto. It's not low carb. It's not paleo.
That's right.
It is
and
nothing.
alcohol
it's
is poison.
Alcohol.
Yeah.
And if you want to drink some, you're an adult and you get to make that decision.
Right.
Will it knock you out of ketosis? Yes. Is it promoting more health? No. So but you're grown adults,
Guinness tastes great, but so do Lucky Charms. But neither one of them are going to improve your health, so we avoid them.
But I do love a Guinness, man.
Every now and then.
Not vegan, nobody, nope. Y'all are killing it on the names tonight. Is it my imagination, or is my night vision better than it was 2 years ago before I started a PhD? Thank you for all you do.
People, it's actually quite common to be vitamin A deficient, and there are so many people out there, no vegan, nopity, nope, who think that you get vitamin A from plants like carrots and kale and spinach. This is a lie. There is zero vitamin A in kale, in carrots, in spinach, in any plant. There is literally no vitamin A in any plant on the planet. You only get vitamin A from animal foods. Some people can convert the beta carotenoids in carrots and kale and spinach into real vitamin A, retinol vitamin A. But many people are very poor converters, and so they'll be quite vitamin A deficient. You were probably one of these people, and after 2 years of eating a vitamin A rich animal diet, your night vision is now truly better. No, this makes perfect sense. Thank you for sharing that.
Carissa's Corner. Hi, Granny Berry from Cleveland.
Granny Berry, my 92-year-old grandmother, is watching this. She's staying in Alabama with our parents right now. If you would say hi, Granny Berry, and where you're saying hi from, she just loves it. She makes her night.
Gringo again. Also, my glucose was 118 up from 97 in June. Is this a concern? I've lost 60 pounds from 220 down to 160. Thanks again. Metabolic withdrawal.
Yeah. So don't worry so much about spot glucose readings. I want you to check your hemoglobin A1C, your C peptide, and your fasting insulin. Those are the numbers that are going to tell you, are you truly metabolically healthy now, or do you still have a little ways to go on your journey?
Patty, I tried the granola Neisha was eating. My hubby likes it with coconut milk, water tech mixture. I like dry or with heavy whipping cream, which is better.
So that's a nice occasional treat. I would not recommend you eat that every night, Patty. That could cause a little swelling around the middle for many of us. Now, some people, if they're young and metabolically healthy and work out for 3 hours a day, they may be able to eat that every night.
Either one of those is fine. It's just whichever you prefer, honestly. And as long as you're meeting your health goals, keep that in consideration.
But if you stall on your way to great health and a great body fat percentage, that might be the reason why. Yeah.
Zero carb daddy.
Ooh.
7.8 now, 5.2 A1C, lost 78 pounds.
Look at this.
Almost to target weight and I'm maintaining.
Everybody look at this. Read this comment.
Should I stop losing weight or let my body dictate what weight I am? I'm carnivore.
So you should let your body dictate what weight you're going to be, and you're going to let your body make that decision by eating a nutrient-dense, ancestrally appropriate, proper human diet, and eating just like every other animal on the planet that has a normal body weight, They don't portion control. They don't calorie count. They just eat until they're so stuffed they can't eat another bite. You should do that too. And when your body fat percentage starts to reach the ideal percentage for you, your weight loss will stop naturally, and you'll keep eating until satiety. It's kind of cool. It's almost like your body was designed to do this if you feed it the proper foods.
All these Granny Berry highs. She's having the best time right now.
She loves that so much.
Penny, will drinking coffee with butter break my fast?
Good question. Probably not enough to matter. When we say break your fast, what we really mean is raise your insulin above a certain threshold. If you eat carbs, your insulin is going to spike. If you eat protein, your insulin does come up some, and that's normal. That's good. Don't freak out. But with pure fat, your insulin comes up a tiny amount, barely at all. And for most people, that does not break the physiological fast and allows them to fast longer, because the butter, also put a pinch of salt in there too, really turns off your appetite so you can fast for hours longer. But don't just put butter in your coffee thinking that there's magic to doing that. There's not. If you're not hungry at all, just sip on your black coffee or put some salt. But if you're like, well, I'm getting hungry, I'm going to have to eat before long, but it's not time for me to break my fast, that's when you put a teaspoon of butter and a pinch of salt in your coffee, and that turns off your hunger.
Randy, how we were in Charleston on family vacation introducing Carnivore for Dad.
All right.
Well done.
Love it.
Hope he takes to it. What about raw milk?
I was just about to say, Tim, raw milk, if you can get it from a reputable supplier that you trust, I think raw milk is less bad than supermarket milk. Raw milk, I think, is a more complete, less mucked about milk. It has not been homogenized, so all the fat globules have been broken up into tiny micelles, and it has not been pasteurized. So the fat and the protein come in a more natural state. So I think it's less bad. The thing you got to understand, Tim, is as adults, you and I, we have no need for milk. Milk is for baby mammals to help them grow and gain weight as quickly as they possibly can. But if you're going to drink milk, make sure it's whole fat, and raw if you can find it. But I would still limit the milk. And this comes full disclosure. I am a milk lover. I used to drink a gallon of milk each and every day when I was in high school, early 20s. I love milk. I have milk with everything. But after about 35, if I tried to do that now, I would start to gain weight in the middle immediately.
Jennifer, I made my first batch of bone broth. Should I drink the tallow from the top of my bone broth or use for other things? Yes. Either one.
Yes. Either way. Just do not waste it. That is a gift from the creator. That is liquid gold. Mm-hmm. Mark.
Is chronic fatigue syndrome real? If so, can it be prevented, cured, or controlled?
So the symptoms of chronic fatigue syndrome are absolutely real. Okay. But there is no test that we can check in the blood work, in the urine, in the cerebrospinal fluid and say, aha, look, they have chronic fatigue syndrome. It is a constellation of symptoms. And in my opinion, it's very overdiagnosed. I've seen people misdiagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome when really what they had was low testosterone, or they had an undiagnosed hypothyroid condition, or they had an undiagnosed adrenal condition, or they had cancer. I've seen that before. And they're like, oh, you've got chronic fatigue syndrome. Really, they were dying of cancer. That's why they had no energy. So if you've been diagnosed with chronic fatigue syndrome, nobody's discounting your symptoms. I believe you have them. But what you've got to do is understand that chronic fatigue syndrome is a diagnosis of exclusion. You know what that means? Tell them what that means.
It means you've had everything else ruled out
by checking,
by lab values,
imaging studies. Yes. You've had test after test after test. Only then is it appropriate for your doctor to say, well, maybe it's chronic fatigue syndrome because I can't find anything wrong in all these hundreds of tests that we've checked. Does that make sense?
Usually the answer's in there somewhere if they know what they're doing.
Ready for me?
ASL in motion. I missed my answer. Is it okay to not eat when you have the keto flu, to fast?
Yeah, if you've got extra body fat that you want to lose, fasting's always the right answer. If you're not hungry, don't eat. 100%.
Maggie.
Hey, Maggie.
Doctors sometimes use the keto diet to control seizure disorders in children. what happens with an adult doing keto who already takes anti-seizure medication?
You're going to be even more protected from having seizures. And even many adults, Maggie, after they're really hardcore keto, eating a high-fat keto, it can't be a veg heavy keto. It's got to be high-fat keto. You may be able to come completely off your anti-seizure medications. Talk to your doctor.
Now, I see a lot of comments of people that have lost 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 125 pounds. Please, if you're in the comments and you're like, I've only lost 5 pounds, do not let that upset you.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
They may have had way more to lose. They may have been doing it longer than you. There's a lot of
in
factors.
a better place.
They
Yep.
may have been healthier than
Yep.
you. Do not let that frustrate
Absolutely
you,
not.
upset you. Don't do that to yourself. It's not a competition. We're
That's
all
right.
cheering each other on. Whether you've lost 5 pounds or 105 pounds,
Yep.
you're doing a good job.
Keep learning, keep watching, keep asking questions, and you will figure this out. I promise you.
Just wanted to throw that out.
I know. That's a great point.
A. Wilkes, blood glucose drops from 105 into the 30 to 50 range during a fasted workout. I'm a 195-pound female, non-diabetic, keto years, carnivore for 30 days.
How do you feel when your blood sugar's in the 50 range? She sometimes drops into the 50s or even the 40s.
I'm not
feels fine.
diabetic.
She's not diabetic, but she feels fine. She doesn't have any of the symptoms of low blood sugar at all. Now, if you're having symptoms of low blood sugar, break out in a cold sweat, have nausea, get blurry vision, I feel like you're going to faint, you need to go see your doctor, because normal humans don't have low blood sugar with symptoms unless there's something wrong. But my guess is that you're having physiological low blood sugar. Your body's fine with that. And I guarantee you that after the workout, your blood sugar comes right back up to normal.
Moises, I saw a video on drinking seawater, 500 milliliters daily with water, and it helps with kidneys and blood pressure. Thought on drinking seawater.
No. If you want to drink salty water, you can make Soleil water. You can take some Redmond's real salt and put a pinch in your water, make it salty. Seawater is nasty. Okay. Seawater has nanoplastics, microplastics. It's got leftover from Fukushima. Don't drink ocean water.
It
no.
looks very pretty, but it's
it's pretty. You can swim in it, but don't drink it.
Hello, sir.
Hi, Becky Berry. Come say hi to everyone.
He wants to say hi to his lily dog.
Oh, he's petting his dog.
His lily dog. Did you miss your lily dog?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
She missed me too.
Yes,
She did. She loves you.
And I got you.
You got your shirt.
Tay Pops. Can a 65-year-old with no gallbladder be carnivore? Yes. Since the 20th, I have not taken my blood pressure medication after starting carnivore. Are you still checking your blood pressure with the meter? I don't want you guys to just stop taking your medicine if your blood pressure is not under control. But now if your blood pressure is great, then fine, stop taking the medicine. But yes, anybody with a gallbladder or without, with the thyroid without, with an appendix or without, you can do carnivore or keto. Absolutely. Just fine.
I think some people don't get your humor.
What did I say that your humor is?
Oh, just in general. Abigail, having loads of postpartum hair loss, is there anything else I can do to slow it down? Keto for 4 months with heavy meat. Abigail, I was heavy meat too. And for some of us, it just is going to happen. It's just hormones. Just getting it together again. So it's probably temporary, but make sure you're getting adequate protein. Like protein is very satiating. So make sure you're eating enough food, but it's probably nothing you're doing wrong.
Right.
It's probably just hormones.
Your first with Beckett, she lost a lot of
I
hair.
was like bald right here.
This time with Bonnie, Bonnie's almost 3 months old, and you haven't really had much
true.
at all.
She is almost 3 months old. So, but just make sure you're eating enough
Turn
protein
sideways.
and
Look
fat.
at this. Look at this ponytail. Look at this. But and do not portion control at all, Abigail.
Right.
It's very common for especially women to think, well, mom said I should. No, you eat until you cannot put another bite in your mouth, especially if you're breastfeeding.
Yes.
It's a CRC. I don't know what currency that is. Tumors can't create glucose from fat. I agree. But tumors do love glucose. They love sugar. And so if anybody's fighting cancer currently, I would highly advise you to eat as low carb as you possibly can. Hey, Sherry.
After 1 year, carnivore and very strict high fat, last 4 months, CGM had me at 130 to 135 fast and a high A1C of 6.6.
Yeah.
Could this be from infection?
Yeah, Sherry's been fighting a chronic infection for months and months. Any chronic infection, any chronic inflammation, even chronic stress can cause your cortisol and epinephrine to go up, and that's going to make your blood sugar go up, and that will be reflected on the A1C. Yeah, it's the infection, Sherry.
Do you have your red light turned on?
Yeah.
Okay, that was messing
I was
me
wondering for a
up.
second,
I was like,
why am I so red?
eyes, what is happening? Not to tease. Doing triple B and E right now. Does butter include coconut butter? No.
No, real butter, animal fats. Nothing wrong with coconut butter, but just use butter.
It's not on triple B and E.
That's
Stop.
right.
Listen.
That's right. That's right.
You
She's
can
right.
do whatever
Listen to
you
Neisha.
want, but it's triple B and E. Beef, butter, real butter, not plant butter, not coconut butter, bacon and eggs.
Coconut butter's plant butter.
It is. Yeah.
Oh, I have never thought of that. Yeah, no.
It is.
Animal butter. It can be sheep's milk butter, goat milk butter, cow milk butter, duck butter, goose grease. I don't know what that means, but
Tim, sorry, I didn't click on it. After illness for over a year, found out I needed a you can say
pericardectomy. Wow, due to mycobacterial infection. Ooh, that was 2 years ago. My skin is like tissue paper. Will keto help my skin get stronger? Yes, Tim. A meat heavy keto diet with lots of meat and lots of eggs is going to give your skin everything it needs to get better. But you need to go see your doctor and get a free and total testosterone check. That's another very common reason after a severe illness like that. It will just zap your testosterone levels. So get your testosterone checked and eat all the fatty red meat and eggs you can hold.
Ron Melrose, thank you so much for the super
Ron,
chat.
thank you.
What is whoa? Thanks
There you
again,
go.
Holly.
Oh, Holly, thank you.
Angelic Annihilator, welcome back. What cardio machine would you recommend? Pros, cons of treadmill, stationary bike?
The only cardio I recommend is in the bedroom. Otherwise, I want you lifting heavy weights. I want you running. I want you swimming. I want you doing exactly what our ancestors would have done in the past. If you want to do cardio, start doing 50-yard sprints as fast as you can without hurting yourself. But if you just want to do cardio for no reason, I suggest you do that in the bedroom.
Go for a walk your dog, jump rope, bounce on a trampoline. There's lots. You don't have to spend a ton of money.
Right. Do not spend a penny on a stationary bike or an aerodyne. We won't. If you buy a treadmill, we were not friends anymore. You stop that. Go outside and play. Go outside and play. That's all you have to do.
Let's put things into perspective. Hannah says, I'm in Japan where meat is expensive, but this week all our American beef was half price from normal.
Fill up that freezer, Hannah. I love it.
I love seeing people from other places. I think that may be. Is that the first one we've had from Japan?
We don't get many from Japan.
I don't see a lot of Japan.
Who else watching from Japan? Anybody else? Just one? Jammer.
Thoughts on adding keto chow once in a while?
So once in a while, I think keto chow is fine as a treat or as dessert or as a meal if you're in a terrible rush. But on a daily basis, day in and day out, I want you eating real human food. Keto chow is made with very clean ingredients. We know the bears personally and we trust them. That's why I designed the daily mineral drops with Chris Bear.
Coming also. We can't talk about it.
Yeah, there's something coming. But keto chow occasionally is totally fine.
It doesn't have anything to do with us. I just know it's coming, and y'all are going to be very happy about it. Sunshine. What about Wendy's, fast food, etc.? If we only order burgers, no buns for lunch breaks, is fast food okay? If it's just beef and bacon and maybe cheese. Yeah,
so we do this very commonly if we're out and about and we're like, I'm hungry. McDonald's has 100% USDA beef. Burger King has 100% USDA beef. Wendy's, Five Guys. Who else? Anybody else?
Five Guys, Burger King, Wendy's, McDonald's, Kelly Hogan.
Don't get the Big Mac patties. Get the quarter pounder patties.
Yeah, you got to get the quarter pounder.
The Big Mac patties are like a postage stamp. I don't even know how they make it that flat. But so I'll typically we'll go to Wendy's and I'll get 2 triples with bacon. Now, the cheese in fast food restaurants is shit.
Not good.
It's shit. Okay. It's full of vegetable oils. It's tasty and it's less bad than eating the bun, but I would probably not get the cheese.
Steak and Shake.
Steak and Shake has 100%
7
USDA.
and 7 is
That's
what
right.
we get.
Yep, I get it 7 and 7 and 7 patties, and then they have pretty decent cheese, so I'll get the cheese at Steak and Shake.
I like Steak and Shake burgers
Yep.
a lot.
But there is nothing wrong with fast food burger, the beef, if you don't get all the high carb
If
crap.
you're in a like, if you're in on a lunch break and you're like, it's either this or the vending machine.
100%.
Eat
Get
the
the
burgers.
hamburgers.
We don't eat out.
Spider-Man.
Hey, look at my Spider-Man. Can you say hi?
Hi.
Shoot your webs. Shoot them.
There you go.
Ooh, you guys been webbed. How you like that?
Good, Ethan.
Abigail, been having the hardest time losing weight while on Zoloft. Would keto help? Yes, Abigail, it will not only help you lose fat, but it's also going to help improve your mood. You need to very specifically try to eat a high-fat keto. You need to make sure you include a lot of omega-3 rich foods. I've got a video about which ones that you could improve your depression so much or anxiety, whatever you take the Zoloft for, that you can actually decrease your Zoloft dosage, maybe even stop it altogether. Talk to your doctor. But yeah, 100% keto is the way for you.
Ketovore Chronicles. Let me see if I can find your super chat. Sorry. It's been
We've had a lot of questions tonight.
Yeah. No, you're not good at it. I'm only good at it.
Let's see what else. Oh, so on your latest vlog on your channel,
Yeah.
if you guys want to see what a good dancer I am, I actually dance with Bonnie Blue, but then Neisha dances with Bonnie Blue. So that's on her latest vlog. I've got a new video on this channel about I was wrong about veggies, where I fess up to being wrong. And then also a new one today about bipolar disorder and all the research showing that you should eat a ketogenic diet if you have bipolar disorder.
There you are, girl. Hubby's numbers. Carnivore 3 months. Thoughts. Cholesterol 160 was 154. Triglycerides 92 was 160. A1C 5.8 was 8.0. Glucose 100 was 108. HDL 43 was 44. LDL 99 was 78. Okay.
Yeah, no. So the A1C is moving in the right direction. He's no longer a type 2 diabetic. He now just has pre-diabetes. And in another 3 or 6 months, he'll fix that completely with carnivore. His cholesterol went up a little bit, total cholesterol. I don't care about that. You took my numbers down.
It's over here.
Okay, good. Oh, no, it's not. Thanks, Neisha. Good job. Well done.
I'm just trying to get to all these people. It's blame Neisha.
All his numbers are fine. He needs to keep what he's doing, keep doing what he's doing. If you're worried about LDL cholesterol or total cholesterol, I've got videos that will help you understand. And there is research in the show notes that you can actually print out the studies, read them yourself, take them to your doctor, and have a discussion. Polynesian USA.
I've got to go take care of baby. We're after. If you
we went over, didn't we?
Yeah,
okay.
You have a few super chats.
Okay.
If you want to keep going, feel free.
Yep. Okay,
but
guys.
I have to go take care of my child.
Such a good mommy. Okay, guys. Polynesian USA. I've been doing carnivore diet for a week and a half now, and I get really sluggish and tired in the afternoon. Is this normal? If it's after a big carnivore meal, some people notice that they get they want to sit down for a few minutes, but I would still guess that you're probably not getting enough fat and you're not eating until true satiety. You're still portion controlling a little bit. You need to eat until you pick up that fork full of meat or egg one more time and you're like, oh, I'm done. I'm full. That's when you stop eating. Okay. That's how carnivore is done. But that's probably what's going on. Kismet had a TIA in the last hours of August. They did everything to confirm it. Credit to going carnivore this year. Love to hear your thoughts on that. They did everything to confirm it. So the definition of a TIA, which stands for transient ischemic attack, is that there is no way to confirm it. It doesn't show up on a CAT scan or an MRI. And the effects of a TIA are transient. That's why it has transient in the name, which means they only last less than 24 hours. Then they go completely away. There are many, many different neurological and other conditions that can mimic the symptoms of a TIA. And so I'm not sure what you mean by your question. Do I think that going carnivore caused you to have a TIA? No, I don't. Do I think that carnivore prevented you from having a full-blown stroke and instead just have a TIA? Maybe that's what happened. but we'll never know, will we? Katie, how might hyperaldosteronism affect my weight loss? Oh, it's definitely going to affect it. There are several adrenal conditions that can lead to hyperaldosteronism. You can do a quick Wikipedia search if you've already been diagnosed with a specific adrenal condition, and you can read all about it. It'll tell you exactly how that condition will affect. I'd have to know what your condition was before I could tell you exactly how it would affect your weight loss. Some will make you gain weight. Some will make you lose weight. It just depends on which one you have. All right, guys, I think, here's one from John. Hey, John, how's it going? Your thoughts on Dr. Ben's smart workouts? I know just moving, lifting things around the house is good, just trying for challenge and structure. I'm not familiar with Dr. Ben's smart workouts, but if it includes lifting heavy things, running fast, swimming fast, riding a bike really fast, and having lots of sex, then I'm 100% for it. Yeah. I always want you guys challenging yourself. Try to lift a little more than you did last month. Try to run a little faster than you did last month. When's the last time any of you guys broke out into just a full sprint? I don't care how old you are. I don't mean breaking a world speed record. I mean you just ran as fast as you could run on flat, level ground so you don't hurt yourself. How long has it been since you did that? Then my next question is, why has it been that long since you did that? When you're going to the mailbox, run. If it's downhill, then run uphill to get back home. Start running. Running is a very natural thing. Now, I do not want you running more than 5K. That's unnatural. I don't want any of you guys running half marathons or full marathons. That's not ancestrally appropriate. But to run an occasional sprint, 50 yards, 100 yards, you may start out with 10 yards, and that's fine. But work your way up. That kind of stuff will change your health in ways you never dreamed possible. Okay, we already got that one. Okay, guys. Oh, here is, why am I clicking? Oh, here we go. Brand new Patreon, 300 pounds, started PhD yesterday. I sure enjoyed the PhD summit. Patricia, you have come to the right place. You're in the right tribe. You're going to have keto and carnivore friends, proper human diet friends that are going to help you so much inside of our Patreon community. And if any of you guys have a very important health question, medication question, nutrition question that you need the answer to, consider becoming a patron on my Patreon. There's a link in the show notes. And for $5 a month, $12 a month, 20, whatever you can afford, that's fine. We will have extra private live Q&As each and every week. We're having one tomorrow at 6 p.m. inside of our Patreon community. We're having another one Wednesday at 11 a.m. Then we're having another one Wednesday at 5 p.m. and then another one Wednesday at 6 p.m. So there's all these extra opportunities for me to answer your questions in deep detail so that you know exactly what you're doing and know exactly where you're going. So consider becoming a patron, just like Patricia did. And when Patricia checks in with you 3 or 6 months from now, guess what? She won't weigh 300 pounds anymore. All right, that's it, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks for sharing this on your social media. That helps us reach new people just like Patricia, who didn't know anything about this a few months ago, and now she's in the community, and she's going to reverse her poor health and realize a level of health she never dreamed she'd have again. Thank you, and good night.